Welcome to Leadership in the Line of Fire with your host, Brad Howe. Join Brad as he dives into the heat of leadership challenges, where the flames of business uncertainty meet the hard-earned lessons of firefighting. Embrace change, master agility, and become the trusted leader guiding your team through the smoke. Get ready to ignite your leadership journey.
Welcome to another thought-provoking episode of Leaders in the Line of Fire. Today, we're taking a closer look at how to be your own leader. It's like being the captain of your own brigade. We're going to talk about how to really get good at what you're good at, how to keep yourself on track, and how to stay strong when things get tough. Think about it like this. Before you can help others, you've got to be able to help yourself. If you want to learn how to be the best leader you can be for yourself and for your team, get ready to do some deep thinking about what it is you want to be to yourself and to those you lead. A long time ago, I was a member of a lifesaving organisation and I was a patrol captain on the beach. So I had a team of other lifesavers who worked with me and we patrolled the beach like all around Australia. Lifesavers do every weekend. One of those days, an assessment team came down and they said, okay, we're going to put you through an assessment activity. This is while we're live on the beach with people in the water. And they wanted us to do a rescue. Now, they chose the person who was going to actually go out into the surf and do the rescue and bring the person in. And they happened to choose the weakest, newest member of my team to do the rescue. And where they chose for the rescue to take place was actually in strong surf and in a rip that is permanent on the beach where I used to work. The person who went out to do the rescue got out there, got the person on the board, started to come in, but they were having trouble getting in. They just didn't have the skill level. I left the beach, swam out to assist them, and we were failed on that assessment because I left the beach. As the leader, they said it wasn't my job. Now, they didn't give me any extra people. There was only this one person doing the rescue, and I had to stay on the beach and tell them what to do. Now, this gutted me for many years. That's the only word to say for it, because I had no right of reply, and I was never given an explanation of why they failed me. I'm only guessing that as the patrol captain, I should have stayed on the beach. This didn't sit well with me, I must admit. As a leader, I knew my teammate was in real trouble thanks to the rip. It was safe for me to leave the beach, and I wasn't going to let it turn into a real rescue, which it was well on its way to being. I've always led from the front, but I'll not hesitate to step in if things become unsafe. When you go through life, there's lots of situations where you're put in the position of leading, and you will develop your own way of leading. In this case, it destroyed my confidence because I had no right of reply. They were right, I was wrong. It was just you failed, and they walked away. And it was a very valuable lesson to me on the type of leader I didn't want to be as I went forward. I did not want to copy what they were. So let's look at what I think are the key elements of self-leadership. Number one, you need to prioritize your well-being. Embrace the importance of maintaining both your mental sharpness and your physical stamina. You need to be in top form to face any challenges. I think you need to exercise every day, even if it's just going for a simple walk. Or you can join a gym, or you can mix it up like I do, where I do gym one day and walk 5 to 6 Ks the next day on the hills. Keep it functional. Remember, we're talking about being healthy here, not bulking up and becoming a super big human. If you choose to go down that route, that's fine. It's not for me. I'm more an endurance person, so I'm looking to get the most out of my body. And obviously, as I get older, I want to keep my body healthy and fit because I want to live a very long life. Another thing you can do, and it's really important, is to meditate, rest, or focus. I find meditation is a key thing, and it was something that I had to learn to do. I don't believe in meditation as in the traditional Om sort of meditation. I use an app called Calm, and it just plays some quiet music or some rain sounds, and then someone talks you through the meditation. All you need to do is literally listen and follow the instructions, which might be just as simple as breathe in, hold, and breathe out. It's very easy to use, and it can talk you into a meditation and back out again. So they've got programs of different lengths from 10 minutes to 30 minutes that you can just turn on, put your headphones on and close your eyes and focus. Doesn't matter whether you're sitting upright or lying down. Absolutely worth the investment, but you can try it for free. So download Calm and try that out. Sleep is underrated. Most people have no idea how much sleep they're getting, and they don't get enough sleep. Using a sleep tracker will absolutely change your life. I use a Whoop band, which is a band that I wear on my wrist, and it tracks all my sleep and exercise habits and then reports back on my recovery time, the amount of sleep I've had, my sleep deficit, in other words, the sleep that I didn't get. Now, I don't sleep a lot. 6 hours for me is a long time for sleeping, but according to Whoop, I actually really do need more. So it's important to have a look at that, because you may be thinking you're getting a lot of sleep and yet you seem to be tired every day. And that's not good for you, both as a leader and for your body, for it to actually regenerate and stay healthy. Make sure that you eat properly for your body type. Now, this is really important. Don't just eat everything around you. Be a little picky. Think about what you're putting in your mouth. Chew your food. Actually take physical concentration. Think about chewing for a minute and slow down a little bit, because when you start to think about what you're eating and what you're chewing, and you really start to examine what you're putting in your body. Now, I'm not talking about becoming super healthy eater here. I'm talking about just eating a normal diet that is suitable for the work that you do. From what I've seen and what I've read over the years, you don't want to get overweight. It's really not the place to be. And more often than not, it appears to be more the result of poor eating habits than lack of exercise. I see plenty of people keep reasonably fit, but they're carrying extra weight because they're eating too many calories a day. It's annoying to cut back on food to what you should be eating, but it is a habit that's worth developing. You really need to work at keeping yourself at your ideal weight, and your doctor can help you work what that is for you and your body shape and size. Be a leader when it comes to your own body. Take responsibility. Don't just think it's going to take care of itself, because it won't. The way we live our lives now is not like we used to. You take responsibility for what you're doing. Now, you don't need to have six-pack abs. I don't think I'll ever see my abs, even though I'm relatively healthy. Even when I was swimming 14 Ks a day, I never saw my abs. I think it's just the way my body is. But having a gut hanging over your pants is not a good look. Take some pride in yourself. You look at people and make conclusions about them. Well, guess what? They do the same to you. So think about how you look. And I'm not saying be overly conscious of it. Just try and be the healthiest version of yourself. So as a leader, you can perform when the pressure's on. Healthy bodies perform under pressure better. Number 2, set your sights high. Define what you're aiming to achieve in your life. Have clear goals, because that's like plotting a course through a smoke-filled room and knowing exactly where you need to go. Do something amazing with your life. Don't just go through each day trying to survive. Anyone can do that. Look at what you could do. Think about what you could become if you put some effort into it. Write a book. Take up a new sport or a hobby. Set some career goals. Okay, write them down and give them a rough date. It might be January next year or end of next year, but be relatively specific in the time frame. It doesn't have to be a date like the 17th of December, 2024. That can put a lot of pressure on. But if you just say by December next year, I'm going to be this level of fitness, or I'm going to be really good at archery, or whatever it happens to be, that's going to make a major difference in getting to where you want to go, because you've got something to aim for. Pick something that scares you a little. If something's a little bit too hard for you the way you are now, as the saying goes, bite off more than enough and chew like hell, because you're going to learn really fast when you want to get that little bit further. Plan out how you're going to get there each step. So lay out a little bit of a step of, I need to be able to do this and this to get to here. These are important. You can't go from A to Z in a single step. It just doesn't work that way. You might think it will, but if you put some steps in there and some little minor goals, so to speak, you'll find you get there a lot better. Pick out one lifetime goal, meaning that it'll take you a lifetime to get there. It might be to get your black belt in martial arts, or maybe it's a certain Dan level, or maybe it's to swim the English Channel. It might take you many years of training to do that. I don't know what it is for you. It will be very personal. Pick something. It might even be to read every book in a series of books by a particular author. There might be 50 books in that series. But set yourself some lifetime goals. Give yourself something to look forward to as you continue to grow as a leader. Make sure you set some fun goals with your family and friends, things that you want to do with them. A good example of this is making a bucket list. You want to go and climb over the Sydney Harbour Bridge, or abseil off the Eiffel Tower, or whatever it is. Get online, go and look at some of the experiences that are available through the different websites, and maybe make a list of them. Work out how you can get to those places to do it. It might be you do one each year, but get yourself a list of fun goals as well that you can tick off, because they will affect everything you do because of the excitement and the enjoyment you'll get of taking part in that experience. Number 3, what you bring to the fire, be it personal, business, or life. Recognizing your own strengths and identifying areas where you might need backup is absolutely essential. This self-awareness is the key to leading effectively. Now, obviously I'm talking to firefighting sense, but we're talking about business, any sense in life, okay? What are you good at? This is really important. Understanding what you're the best at really helps you define who you are. Make a list, think hard about it, and be honest with yourself. What are you actually good at? Not what are you good at, what are you really good at? Ask some trusted friends what they would say your strengths and weaknesses, if you want, are, but focus on your strengths. The one thing I have learned in life is that when you focus on your strengths, you actually go ahead in leaps and bounds. When you worry about your weaknesses, they hold you back. If you want to work on your weaknesses, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But maybe you need to recognize that you need to find someone who's better at the weaknesses side of your personality and get them to work with you. So maybe I'm not great at taking notes. So having someone like a personal assistant at my office makes a big difference to me because they can take notes and they can set up my calendar and they can put my to-do list together or whatever it happens to be. Okay. Examine how your strengths help you in the different parts of your life. This is really important. Obviously you've got, your personal, you've got your public life, and then you've got your work life. There's all different lives we live, all different hats we wear. But look at where the strengths help you in those. On the flip side, make sure you understand where those strengths hinder you in those lives. What can be a really good thing in a business sense can be a terrible thing in a personal sense. So you need to temper your strengths depending on the situation you're in. I would also look for some mid-level skills or knowledge that you can build up. So these aren't necessarily weaknesses or strengths. They're sitting in the middle. So they could become either. Think about how you can build up those mid-level strengths into really useful ones for you. Number 4, stay cool under fire. Cultivate your ability to remain composed, to bend without breaking, and to pivot as needed. Like a firefighter assessing a changing fire front, you too must adapt to new situations swiftly. Learn to stop and assess before you do anything. Don't just run in. This is essential. Stop and assess. Weigh up your options. When you weigh up your options, you get to think a little bit further rather than just taking the first thing that comes to mind. There's always more than one way to do anything. There's not many times in your life when you actually need to make a split-second decision. And when that happens, you'll know what the decision is. Most times, it's life-threatening when you're in that position. Calmness comes through training, self-control, and knowing your own abilities and trusting yourself. So everything you're doing contributes to your calmness. The more proficient you become in things, the calmer you will be under pressure. As the saying goes, when all hell breaks loose, look for the calm person. That's the person you want to be next to. Keeping calm, part of that is being prepared to fall back to a different plan or activity. If you need to pivot, make sure that you do it on good information. You always need to have good information and plans in place in case things change. So prior preparation prevents P, as we know. And sometimes you need to step away from the noise. You can be in a crowded room, on a fireground, anywhere. It's very hard to think when everyone's talking. Sometimes you need to just tell people to wait out, walk away, and have a think for a minute, and then come back into the situation. Not a bad thing to do. It's not a sign of a bad leader. It's a sign of someone who just wants a little bit of thinking time. And as the leader, it's your right to do that. Make the call where necessary. Number 5, embrace quiet moments. Find time to turn down the noise and reflect. Now, this is important, not just walk away. This is like turning down the noise and reflecting. Just as a firefighter might check their equipment in a rare moment of peace, this practice can clear your mind and renew your spirit. Hey, life can be noisy. Just generally speaking, there's a lot going on, especially if you've got a family or you're running a business and doing other things as well. It gets noisy. There's lots and lots of inputs. And when I say noisy, I don't necessarily mean the volume. I just mean the amount of stuff hanging around you. Some days everyone wants a piece of you and it can be overwhelming. That's normal. It's not every day. If it becomes every day, then you need to reassess your life. When it's quiet, enjoy it. Refocus. Close your eyes for a second and just take a couple of deep breaths, hold them and release them. I like to walk out in the sun and just close my eyes and feel the warmth on my skin, feel the breeze, hear the sounds, and just suck in life for a couple of minutes in that peace and quiet. You should try it sometime. It makes a big difference, but you got to close your eyes to close out the visual aspect and just let your body take in everything that's going on around you. Do something menial if you need a break. For example, hang out the washing at home, tidy up the eating room at work. Do something that requires no thinking. So something you've done thousands of times, just go and do it. Sometimes that's a really good break from heavy work. The last thing you can do is program some quiet time into your day. Work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. There's all different work theories available, and that's just one of them. Number 6, as a leader, you need to trust your instincts. Have faith in your capabilities. Intuition is like a sixth sense that tells a firefighter when something's not right. It's a powerful guide in decision making. My dad always used to tell me to trust my gut, and it saved me many times because of something or someone didn't feel right. Now, I know that sounds a little weird, but we all know the saying, trust your gut, and there's a reason for that. Intuition is just your knowledge, your senses, your skills, and your intellect working to collect data from the world around you to help you make a decision that is safe for you. That's what your gut is doing. So take a minute and think about what you actually feel deep down inside. Is this the right decision? Am I doing the right thing? Yeah, sometimes you're going to have to jump anyway, but most times your gut will back you up. Belief in yourself is hard to build and easy to lose. This is super important. When the incident as a lifesaver happened a long time ago, it took me many years before I put my hand up to lead again. What they did that day was destroy a leader in their organization. And I wonder how many other leaders have left lifesaving over the years because of their processes like that. Hopefully I was just an isolated incident and it was just the way I was. You have to build your trust in yourself by continuing to lead. Not everything's going to be a success, so you have to be prepared for that. Be fair on yourself and evaluate your actions fairly. If you're like me, you can be way too hard on yourself over things that everybody else probably didn't even notice or certainly not still thinking about weeks later like I am. Be nice to yourself. So important. You spend most of your time alone, so why be hard on you? Number 7, commit to lifelong learning. Keep absorbing new information, seeking out advice, and honing your skills. Okay? It's like reviewing the aftermath of a fire to prepare better for the next one. Never stop learning, listening, or growing. Read, listen, watch something every day. Educational stuff, whether it might be a documentary or whatever it happens to be. Do something that's actually adding to yourself. There's a time, for example, reading fiction book. That's good for your soul. And that's adding to yourself as well. And there's a time to read a little bit of a business book or something on psychology. There's so much content available to you online for free these days. So just get on YouTube and type in some topics and watch a few different videos. Okay. If you're watching someone and you really like their stuff, make sure that before you buy their content, so they might be selling a course on something, you do all of their free content first. No one person is a guru. So look at all their content and evaluate it before you give them money. That's only fair. You can always build yourself a team of virtual mentors by building up a group of people on YouTube, for example, that you like to watch on a regular basis. And this is what I do. I have mentors in different sections. So I have mentors around AI development and I have mentors around website stuff that I like to watch on a regular basis to keep my skills and my knowledge up. I also improve my knowledge by listening to a range of podcasts across a couple of different areas, from business through to life skills. I suggest you choose learnings from psychology, leadership, sales, health and fitness, and general knowledge. Mix it up. Don't just go down the same rabbit hole all the time when you're looking for information. Set a couple of learning goals. Maybe you're going to learn this thing because you want to develop something. So I might learn programming because I want to develop an app. Another thing that I've always found that's really powerful is to actually write a course, a book, or do a video. You'll learn so much from actually teaching others. It's amazing what you learn when you're delivering content. It makes you think about things you never thought about before. It helps you clarify systems that you use without thinking about them. And it turns them into practical models that then you can teach other people. It's always really interesting to teach a piece of content to someone and have to break it down and think about what the best way to do that is. I suggest you also need to mix with smarter people. Get out there and hang around with people smarter than yourself. Network if you're in business. And build friendships. It's not always about being with smarter people so you can learn to build a better business or necessarily be a better leader. Because some people, you'll be learning off them about life skills. You learn how to be a better parent, a better friend, a better partner, just by being with them in a business context. There's a lot to be learned from being around smarter people. There's an old saying that if you're the smartest person in your room, you're in the wrong room. Even in business, the more smart people you can surround yourself with, the better it will be for you. Just keep actively learning. It's so important throughout your life. When you stop learning, you stop living as far as I'm concerned. So as I conclude today's episode on self-leadership, let's reflect on the journey I've taken and the insights I've run through with you. I've emphasized the importance of prioritizing your well-being, both mentally and physically. Remember, your health is your first line of defense against any challenge. You've set your sights high. Understanding that goals are beacons guiding you through the smoke of uncertainty. These goals, big or small, are what define your path and give you direction. You've taken honest inventory of your strengths and weaknesses, acknowledging that self-awareness is a critical tool in your leadership toolkit. Just as any firefighter knows what they're doing on the fire ground, knowing yourself helps you respond effectively in any situation. Staying cool under fire, embracing quiet moments, and trusting your instincts are not just actions, but a mindset that shapes how you approach your challenges and opportunities in life. And finally, I talked about the never-ending journey of learning. The landscape of life, much like the aftermath of a fire, is a classroom where you can learn so much from what every experience teaches you. As leaders in our own lives, the commitment to growth, understanding, and resilience is what makes the difference. So as you step out from this episode, carry these lessons with you. Continue to learn, adapt, and grow. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode on self-leadership. If you found these insights helpful, I encourage you to like and subscribe for more content like this. Share this episode with someone who could use a little guidance on their own leadership journey. Your support helps us reach more listeners and create a community of growth and learning. Remember, the journey of leadership is ongoing. Every step you take is a step towards becoming a more effective, resilient leader. So keep pushing forward, keep learning, and keep leading yourself with purpose. Until next time, never stop striving to be the best version of yourself and run towards the flames.
Thank you for tuning in to Leadership in the Line of Fire. If today's episode sparked some insights, please share it with your friends and colleagues. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Your support fuels this journey. Join us next time as we continue to explore leadership lessons from the fire line. Until then, keep leading with courage and agility.